Just a quick message before the video starts. If you could like this video, leave a comment below, but most importantly, hit the red subscribe button and the little bell next to it, which will notify you when these videos become available. And most importantly, share this video around. That helps me stay competitive with the big multinational corporations such as CNN and the BBC that YouTube is unfortunately choosing to prioritize. Thank you very much and enjoy this video. Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly was, but as usual, something happens fairly early in the day to really piss me off. And today's offering was Canada, in which the oh-so-tolerant Liberals have yet again toppled another statue. This time, the statue in central Montreal, a city in Canada, 120-year-old statue of Canada's very first Prime Minister. And the statue was completely toppled, completely unopposed by the police. As usual, the police only react after, instead of trying to prevent. When prevention, I keep saying this, prevention is always better than the cure. If you can prevent cancer from happening, isn't that much better than curing it once you're infected, once you develop cancer? And Antifa, BLM, and this leftist insurrection, this Marxist insurrection on Western society is a cancer. If the United States of America is your body, if Canada's your body, if Great Britain's my body, then these woke leftists of Antifa are cancer. And prevention is better than the cure. So on this video we have for you some clips detailing what the hell happened in Montreal yesterday. We're going to go over a few things, and we're also going to go over another clip. We're going to watch another clip, go over it, in which they tell you that this particular clip isn't from Canada, it's from the United States. In Washington DC, the heart of the United States, you have BLM activists and Antifa activists, their white allies, telling you exactly what they want to do. They're telling you. It's not open for conjecture. They will tell you. They will tell you. So without further ado, let's get into the video. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Excuse me. Share this video around. Only takes a few moments, and that really helps not only this community, this growing community here at the Hoggcast, which you're a part of, but it also helps the fight back against this leftist insanity. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Right, so I think we'll start with first the clip itself. Note that the police are not present, they're only in the backgrounds. They stand there and allow this insult on Montreal, Canada, and Western society in general. This is an extremist attack. If that was Islamic extremists doing it, because they're fond of pulling down statues too, as we're going to go over later, would they allow it? It's the same thing. The people who are doing this are kind of the same. They have the same thoughts. They're extremists. The only difference is they were born in Canada. Doesn't mean they're not extremists. You notice they don't create anything. I keep saying this. Woke leftists, they don't create anything. It's us on the right. It's conservatives, excuse me. It's conservatives who create things. We build, the left come along and destroy. And you notice how excited they get when they see that they've destroyed something. How they're like, yes! How they're cheering and whooping that they've destroyed something, yes. And this idiot here even does an obscene gesture on the head Where have we seen people doing obscene gestures to the decapitated heads of their ideological enemies? Radical Islam. The same place, isn't it? Can you see the parallels between this? Now, yes, it is true that the head of this statue only came off because it fell down, but they were going to sever it anyway. They've been doing that to all the statues. They either sever the head or they drag the statue along by essentially lynching a statue. That's what they could do. And bearing in mind, the reason why they want no police is because they want a world where they can do this to you. They can lynch people like me, people like you, and they want nobody there to stop them from doing it. That's why they want to take your guns. That's why they want to defund your police. That's why they want to infiltrate your military. And it disgusts me. Honestly, it bothers me a lot. Next, we have some mainstream media coverage of what happened, and this was only a minor story to them. This is Canada. It was only like a footnote to them.
Cities across the country today, demonstrators are calling for police forces to be defunded and for money to be reinvested into local communities instead.
No, they called, you could hear it on the footage, they called for the abolishment of police. They said no police. Defund police was the original claim. But as Marxists, I've told you, Marxism, the definition of Marxism is permanent revolution. So once they start with, well, we want to defund the police, if you are stupid enough to give them that, they will immediately come back and say, okay, well now you've got to abolish the police. And if you do that, then they'll come back and say, okay, well now you've got to give us money on top. The money you was giving to the police, give to us. And it will just keep going.
Instead, in Toronto, dozens are marching to support Black and Indigenous people, and CBC's Chris Glover is on the scene and has this report.
These protesters are marching along a very busy Toronto street. Their fists held high. They're holding signs that are calling for justice and justice now. Many of them are also saying things like abolish the police. And their main message today is to defund the police. This is a rally in Toronto, but these sorts of rallies are going on across the country today in Montreal, Moncton, Halifax, and many other cities as well. They are being led by Black and Indigenous groups, and they say that that is very important to helping to get the change that they are calling for. Here's what some...
Yes, of course it's very important to them. That's the thing. They want to be the ones calling the shots. Which should tell you, it should show you that these people have an ingrained, inbuilt prejudice. Justice is such a big umbrella term. And this is totally Orwellian, because when they say they want justice, what they actually want is injustice. They want to take out the failures of their own lives on people like me and people like you. They want to blame you and your family for it. That's what they want to do, because they aren't where they want to be in life. It must be your ancestors 10 people down the line. It must be their fault. But because they're dead, they'll take it out on you. Because they're inadequate and they can never take responsibility for their own failure in life. That seems to be something unique to them. Anyway, this is this is a mainstream media article, video going over what happened. First Toronto, so we're going to get to Montreal now.
Well, Natasha, this happened, as you said, at the very end of the defund the police protest. And what we know happened here is that people actually put banners around the statue so that people couldn't see exactly what was going on. Rope was...
Don't be so stupid. That's rubbish. You could quite clearly see from far away they were pulling a statue down. You had ropes attached to it, and there was God knows how many people pulling on it. They already know what these people want to do. They've told you they're going to pull down your statues. They've told you exactly what they want to do. People who pull down and decapitate statues, magnificent statues, are not protesters or demonstrators. They're insurrectionists and extremists. Let me tell you something, and I've said this before. The universal sign of a civilization on the up and up is a civilization that dedicates resources to building statues and monuments. The universal sign of a civilization on the way down or is about to fragment is a civilization where their statues and monuments are pulled down.
Wound around the statue and then they pulled it down, and when it hit the ground, the head fell off. Now, this statue has been controversial in Montreal, and other statues like it of Sir John A. Macdonald have been controversial because people say it represents Canada's colonial and racist past. So
it represents the ism past and ist past. Well, you know something. You know, in Mongolia, do you know they have a gigantic gold statue of Genghis Khan? Genghis Khan did unspeakable things to many other groups, but he's cherished there because it's a symbol of their history. It's the same in China, it's the same in African countries, in South American countries, everywhere except Western Europe and Western countries, or countries with Western civilization. We are expected to be seen through a prism of we only ever did bad, we only ever do bad, and we only ever will do bad, whereas everyone else is expected to be seen through the prism of they can only do good. Whereas if you look through history, you'll find that every group has done bad and every group has done good. But if you want to get down to it and you want to play that stupid game, let me tell you something. You like to criticize Western civilization and our past, but you do so using the gadgets and all of the amazing things that we either invented or discovered. And you'll sit there and criticize us saying this and that is colonial thinking, this is an ism, this is an ist. Well, stop, go away. Stop using what we invented. Stop. Don't go to a hospital, go to a witch doctor. When you're ill, when you have an ill relative or one of your children is sick, don't go to a Western hospital. That's a sign of colonialism, remember? Go to a witch doctor or a medicine man. Don't come to us. Don't criticise us and then come to us. Next is a short clip which highlights that, as I said, after they did what they did, then the police move in, which is too late. The statue's been pulled down, and don't expect anytime soon for Canada's current Prime Minister, Mr. Trudeau, who is an admitted and avowed socialist. Don't expect him to put the statues back up. You know, it's just like even here in Britain when they tried to pull down all of our statues. They did a good job of pulling down a lot of them, but they even went for Churchill and the cenotaph. But those two, the Winston Churchill statue and the cenotaph, which is our war memorial, are now barricaded. We have to barricade our own war memorials who honour the dead who fought for our freedom to stop people like these woke leftists from going and destroying it. That's where society is right now. And these people honestly think the problem is with the right? The political right? No. The problem's with the left. So yeah, it's just police moving people on, moving them away. I want to know, do any of these woke leftists, because obviously they're a hive mentality, it's a mob mentality. When they get home, I really do, and I mean it, I do want to know whether they have any independent thoughts, whether they think to themselves, whether they self-critique, whether they question what their own actions. What they do? Is it the right thing? Pulling down statues, honestly. They need to be punished. They need to be arrested and sent to prison for a long time. They need to know that their actions are having consequences, because this is happening too much. Okay, next we are in Washington DC, and so we've moved from Montreal. Now I wanted to show you this because this is BLM, Antifa, the same type of people who you just saw toppling and desecrating one of the oldest statues in Canada, which commemorates their history. It was their first Prime Minister, So here they are telling you exactly what they want to do.
I'm at the point where I'm ready to put these police in the fucking grave. I'm at the point where I want to burn the fucking White House down. I want to take it to the senators. I want to take it to the Congress. I want to take the fight to them. And at the end of the day, if they ain't gonna hear us, we burn them the fuck down. I'm one that talk real shit. I talk it in New York, and I talk it in DC. The same way I fuck police up in New York, I fuck cops up here in DC. The same way I bust police in the head in New York, I bust police in the head in DC. Now, it's a lot of people, and I'm gonna be honest, it's a lot of people that's on this front line. And one of the things that I always say, don't get on this fucking front line if you ain't gonna fucking fight. Don't get on this front line if you ain't gonna take no hit. Don't get on this front line when the police fucking push up, you push back. If you gonna be on this front line and them racist ass, nasty ass, punk ass fucking police is pushing up, you push the fuck up.
So he's telling you exactly what he wants to do, and he's serious. You've seen it. You've seen their actions over the last few months. Imagine if the Democrats win in November. You can have people like that dictating to you. You know, we saw in Kenosha that upstanding young man, Mr. Rittenhouse, very upstanding young man. He was attacked, and bear in mind he's 17. He was attacked. We've seen it. The guy who got his arm severely damaged by a bullet, he was pointing a pistol straight at his head, at Rittenhouse's head. And he said from the hospital, he said, and I'm quoting him here, he wished he'd pumped him basically full of lead. That's what he wanted to do. So Kyle Rittenhouse, even though he's been charged, the only way he's going to be found guilty of murder is if this is a politically charged and they're really going to go for him along political lines. Because you could see it. And the other guy, the guy who, yes, unfortunately lost his life, people are calling him a hero and a victim. You can see him trying to hit Mr. Rittenhouse on the head with a skateboard. Have you ever wondered why so many of these so-called peaceful protesters seem to bring their skateboards with them? Because it's not an illegal weapon, but it is something heavy enough and lethal enough to seriously damage another human being. That's why they use them. That's why they all carry them. Once upon a time, people used to run away from people who had a gun. These leftists, they run towards them and attack them. And then they act surprised when the person fires in self-defense. That's the left. And finally, I want to show you a short video clip from the mainstream media, which is, they're saying, oh, it's an alleged, it's old, but I'm showing you it for a reason. This is ISIS extremists knocking down statues and monuments.
Sledgehammers and shooting Kalashnikov assault rifles at priceless statues in the ancient city of Hatra. The United Nations regards Hatra as a World Heritage Site. The extent of the damage is unclear since it's in territory still controlled by the Islamic State group. Separately, the Islamic State has taken control.
So, as I say, that is an old piece of footage, but it's something that I want to archive in history because I want you people to see the correlation between what they do and their extreme beliefs and what the modern woke left are doing and their extreme beliefs. They genuinely believe that knocking down statues is the right thing to do, just like these people you've seen on your screen here that belong to these organisations, ISIS and all of the others. You know, it's just, the correlation is eerie. And remember, these people are the Antifa types in BLM. They're in your country, they're in your town, they might live on your street. They've brought extremism to your doorstep. And how do you feel about that? Anyway, thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think in the comment sections below. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video around. That's most important. Let's grow this community. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.